King Crimson is back.
King Crimson is back, like McRib, back from the dead.
It's a very cool. They were never back. In fact, I don't even know when the last time they toured is. They may have toured more recently, even last year, for all I know. What's interesting about the current situation is this lineup that they've got. So they've got Steve Vai sitting in on guitar, and they've got Danny Carey playing on drums. They're doing it as a 4-piece, and they're going to be doing specifically these songs off 3 albums that they released in 81, 82, and 83. So it's like this very specific 80s era of King Crimson with this 4-piece lineup, and that just sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's the albums are the 3 primary colors. So the red one is Discipline. I can't remember the name of the blue one. The blue one is the one Danny Carey was wearing. Beat. That's the one he was. Danny was wearing the shirt for that, the King Crimson Beat shirt in the Beato interview. And then the yellow one or green, I can't remember. I think it's yellow. It's 3 of a Perfect Pair.
Yeah, which is my son's favorite out of those, and he's 17, and him and his friends are like big King Crimson fans. Like, in fact, he's the reason I started checking it out some more. And then what's weird is, so here's the deal, guys. I'm not going to pretend to be like this huge King Crimson fan that's been following them. I did first hear about them like 20 years ago because Danny Carey mentioned them in an interview as being an influence for them. So I remember checking them out back then, but at that time, you know, Spotify didn't exist. It wasn't nearly as accessible to just check out a band like it is now, even on YouTube. So I got to hear like a little bit of one album, a little bit of another. And to be honest, every time I've remembered about them, I constantly forgot to check out more of their library. So my son starts getting into them. And then I got a buddy that is a guitar player, and he's way into them. Are you there? Oh, no. We lost King Dickerson. We lost King Dickerson. He's frozen in time. Oh. Hello? Hey. King Dickerson is kind of back. He's a fuzzy, blurry. He's moving a little bit.
Returned. You were telling the story on how you got into King Crimson because Tristan was in it, and then you just vanished. But here I am.
Oh,
I have returned.
Well, the audience heard, so we'll just keep going. No, okay. I was just trying to say real quick that I hadn't invested like a ton of time into them, but my son's into them. Their friends are into them. It's cool that they're making a comeback. As far as like in the youth, that they're like acknowledging the existence of them. And so I've been going through their catalog, and it's cool stuff. It's prog, total prog. These guys like were part of that whole movement that really got prog. I mean, they were one of like the godfathers of prog. I mean, and so I love stuff that's so weird and quirky, and I'm hearing influences. As I'm listening to more of their catalog, I can hear so much of even like Primus as well. Like I can hear that they have to have been an influence for Primus too. I don't know how they couldn't be. There's some of the stuff so Primus, and I love that.
100%. Yeah, no, it's so cool. It's like I was listening to it today, and what's the first album? I can't remember the name of it, but there's a song on there called Epitaph. I was listening to on the way home from training.
Their very first album.
I think their first album, like Knights of the something or Crusader.
In the Court of the King or something.
Yeah,
like
in the
name of their first album in
1969. King Crimson.
Yeah,
and like there's like flute woodwind instrument solos and cellos and long, like moody. I told Kyron, I was like, man, this is a really sad song. It's like super broody, but super cool. I was like, I can 100% see how Tool is influenced by this stuff. And I was listening to the lyrics, and the lyrics were like so cool. I was like, man, this is legit. And I had just never, been into it. And I told Kyron today that we were going.
Oh,
and he was like, he didn't know. He's like, what? I was like, yeah. He said, oh, I saw Ash posted it online. I was like, no, yeah. We're paying him back next week. We're going. Like, we got tickets. And my drummer John and his wife got tickets.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we ended up with 8. I went ahead and just got every ticket I could get, which was 8 for one person. And yeah, Tristan's coming. His girlfriend's coming. My old guitar player buddy from that I've known since third grade's coming. Which is what I was gonna say. Was it's funny because just 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I get random messages from my old buddy Noah, and he's just trying to pitch me on checking out King Crimson. He's like getting into them in this big way, and I'm like, dude, my son's always talking about it. I'm going to check it out. I'm about to come up on this part of the project in my edit where I don't have to listen to audio for like a week. I'm just color grading. That's when I catch up on podcasts, catch up on listening to music. And so that's exactly all the timing came together. But then here we are, and this show's happening. I message him right away, and I'm like, dude, we got to go. Let's go, man. This is crazy. Danny Carey from Tool's playing, Steve Vai's in it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm 100% in. You said you're 100% in. And so we're going, but this is not till in Orlando, September 27th. So this is far off from now. But those tickets were flying. I was in the pre-sale ticket purchase room, and as I had some of the seats in, selected, they were peeling off. So somebody was in there buying them as I was. And this is the pre-sale, and I can see many seats were already sold. And so this is why it's such an issue with Ticketmaster, and like the whole way that it works if you're trying to buy a ticket normally is very, very challenging. And then I go over to another site that's selling the tickets without a pre-sale code, and the same kind of tickets that we bought for $80 a pop after service charges are selling for $380 a pop. And I'm like, you bastards, you guys are the problem, man.
Scalpers. Yeah. Just buying them up and turning around, selling them same day.
Yeah, it's gross, man.
It was
hate that.
Yeah, that's terrible. And they're never gonna go away though. It's like at least you did the right thing and you got on there and did the legit. You got the pre-sale code, the legit pre-sale code, and got it the right way. I mean, this year's gonna be, it's packed with concerts, man. In a couple weeks, Welcome to Rockville's coming in early May. I have tickets. Amber got me tickets for my birthday for the 11th, for Saturday. So that's Primus, Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, Clutch, Baroness,
awesome.
All these amazing bands. Like not like this. It's not the super heavy Cypress Hill.
Oh shit! It's nice. That'll be fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be super awesome.
And Clutch is good, man. A lot of people don't know about Clutch, but I've seen them here in town a couple of times. Back at the Cow House, I think is what it was when I saw them.
So lucky, dude. Like Neil Fallon, the vocalist for Clutch, is just, his voice is like the voice of rock and roll. It's
awesome,
like,
man. I had never heard it before.
Did you know that it's Neil singing the finale on Mastodon's song Blood and Thunder?
No, but I'm not sure. I know. I got to get familiar with Mastodon's catalog that I'm way behind on too. So I don't know if I've heard that song.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. That's like their breakout song from like their second album, Leviathan, Blood and Thunder. And at the end,
okay.
I didn't know this until recently, but the finale, the break your backs and crack your horse, man, that's Neil Fallon. Like, and he sounds so much like Troy Sanders. Like their voices, I always thought it was Troy, but it's actually Neil. It's so cool.
That's funny.
And speaking of Mastodon's coming on a 20-year revival tour for Leviathan with Lamb of God on their 20-year anniversary of Ashes of the Wake, and they're touring together.
Wow.
And I'm going to that one too. Awesome. Amber got me the VIP meet and greet package for that.
That's awesome. That's great, man. Yeah, I it's funny, like just all the concerts that are happening. I'm unfortunately having to let a lot of the awesome ones pass by. Even the Sasanta tour that we were talking about in the last episode with Maynard and Primus. I mean, Pussifer, Primus, and A Perfect Circle. That I saw tickets were available. I could have like almost done it, but you know what? That would have been like I think that's on the 8th or something, or the 9th. And I'm like, I'm over here 14 hours a day editing still, like the last episode we talked on.
Yeah.
Trying to finish this project, hopefully this weekend.
Like the 9th of this month of April?
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Oh
Santa
man,
thing's happening next week in Atlanta. That was the closest they
wow.
came, which is close. And I was like, oh, and I saw the tickets are available. And I was thinking about, well, I messaged you about it, but you were like,
Yeah,
I can't swing that right now. And I was like, I'm glad you said that because I want to feel guilt free. Like I couldn't do it. You know, I need somebody to go with
yeah.
me. You're the only
Like,
person
like,
for that
hey,
middle of the
if
week.
look, I can't go, but if you go, I'll go. And I was like,
That's
man, I'm gonna make this easy for you. I can't go. I was
And that
like,
was
oh, I
great.
wanted
That's
to go
exact. I
so
would be so stressed out right now if I was having to get ready for that because I'm just so behind on this, trying to wrap this thing
bad.
up. But
Me
no,
too,
but the
man.
but the King Crimson's plenty far off. That I was like, that's perfect, and so many people are interested in it, and it's such a historical little reunion, like or reunion. It's a historical like ensemble that's only going to happen potentially for this one tour leg, you know, ever. So I love how and it's with such an iconic band in a genre that is my favorite genre. I like, you know, not that I like
Yeah.
everything to be super technical, but I mean, Tool is my favorite band, and I love stuff that's weird and campy, and it's just like
And
this is going to be really
Danny's
cool. And
on
these
the drums.
Danny Carey's my favorite drummer all the time. I mean, honestly, he's still the primary reason I'm going. Is just Danny Carey alone. I would,
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
his drumming. I want to see him drum King Crimson stuff, you know, with King Crimson and Steve
He should.
Vai. You, yeah.
I wanna I wanna like screenshot the conversation I had with John, my drummer,
Yeah.
when he said, I got the tickets. He was like, man, he showed me a screenshot of the seats he got. He's closer than we are. He's on the other side,
Oh,
but like second or third row, like right up on there.
did he get the
He's like, oh,
VIP seats?
I don't know. But
He
he said,
might
I'll have
have.
to look at the screenshot. He's like right up close, and he said, I hope I can see the drums from here. He's like, I hope
I'm
I can
sure
see
he
the
will.
drums.
Actually, with Danny Carey's kid, he might be too close. He might only be looking up and he can't see what's
Yeah,
happening behind the kid. It's so
like being
big.
like being at the movies. I can't
Yeah,
see
it
the whole
might be
screen.
like that. I mean, I don't wish that on him. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Yeah, there was orchestra pit seats. Those were going for like 250 a pop. Um, I bought 8 tickets. I didn't feel comfortable spending. And the thing here's what happens: you get that now everybody's split because not everybody in the group is ready to swing that much money for a concert, and understandably
Yeah.
so. Understandably so. In fact, I mean, I like the idea of seeing King Crimson, but they're not like this band that I've been following for decades. So that's not the band. I spent 250 to go see Tool right before COVID happened because of scalpers. You know, it's not like I was trying to spend that much. I had, and actually this comes full circle. I had tried before COVID happened, 2 years in a row. I was trying to catch Tool on their tour, right? And I was on Ticketmaster 20 minutes ahead of time before tickets go on sale. They go on sale, instantaneously sold out. I couldn't even get the cart checked out. That happened to me
Wow.
twice in a row. And on the third time, I was like, I made it further than I ever had, and it still bailed on me. So 3 times. And I was like, this sucks. So I had to go to StubHub and I had to fork
Man,
out $250 for a ticket. I was like, they're getting older. I don't know if this is, I know they're probably planning to keep going, but there's no guarantee that they're going to play another tour ever. There's no guarantee, right? I want to go see them. I tried 3 times to be price
they're
conscious here.
they're 60.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Tool's
these guys
six.
are
They're
older
60,
than, I
60
mean,
years old.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how old
the
the
guy
two.
from Tool that's playing with him. This is the young
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is like, these guys are like
Danny's the young
legends. He's the young guy.
guy.
Yeah. And I mean, the guys in Crimson are even older, right? So I think
Yeah.
maybe I'm talking out of turn. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure they are. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it for sure. Did you know, a little side note, Steve Vai, did you know that he did guitar work on the Halo 2 soundtrack?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The
It's kind
main
of
theme
not
song, all
surprising, but
those
I didn't
guitar
know.
riffs is him.
Wow.
If Yeah, if you listen to the Halo, there's actually a lot of guitar in it. I never paid attention to how much guitar is in it, but I listened to it again on Spotify, knowing that it's on the Steve Vai playlist. And
Mhm.
there's a ton of guitar in it. I'm like, actually, this is pretty good. Like, I never took that much note of like how much it was actually electric guitar playing on stuff. And yeah, he's all over it.
That's cool as shit. Yeah, I know Halo has is known for like a really epic soundtrack. I didn't play Halo 2. I played Halo 1 all the way through and I never did Halo 2. So that's probably why. But I know the music. Kyron's all into video game music. There's one, the Doom games, the newer Doom games are
Yeah.
like really rock and metal heavy. And there's another first person shooter we'll talk about on the next podcast. I'm planning on getting this game because there's a first person shooter that's like Doom. It's just like Doom. It's like a clone of Doom. You're a demon, you're the demon and you're murdering other demons and running first person, but it's exclusive to the soundtrack that's pumping like actual, not licensed, but like actual, like legit metal bands and their songs. Like, and the soundtrack's
Wow.
supposed to be incredible. I've been looking at it.
Mm.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get this game and play it and see what it's about, and then talk about it because I think that's super cool. You know, a super cool way to put metal out there.
Oh, definitely. I remember when that was first starting to happen, and I can't remember which games and I can't remember which bands. So this is kind of a lame historical reference, but I do remember hearing numbers flying around like, yeah, man, blank made. Actually, it was a band that I knew through our engineer because he had mixed them, and they had sold one of their songs. I can't remember which. I almost wanted to say it was Gran Turismo, but that's a
So
stretch. I don't know that for sure.
back in the day, a big one for bands to get on were the Tony Hawk games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, and 3 like had some soundtracks where if you got on that game soundtrack, you're getting pumped. Like it was super cool.
Yeah, you'd really get out there. Well, and I want to say the numbers I heard was like 80 grand for like the song to
Oh
be on
wow.
there. And I remember us as like, 22, 21, 23, some, in that age bracket, just being like drooling over the dude, that's it. Our music would be great on a game, like how do we get in the right situation to sell it for a game? That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
And
we got
now and it's like, I mean, I don't even know how it works now. It's such a toggle between exposure versus losing your rights to your music and wanting to get paid on the front end. So it's like, I don't know. That's a weird trade-off, right? Like, do you want your music out there for forfeiting your rights and being capped at like this amount of money, or do you want that front end pay where you're guaranteed a certain amount and on top of that you get the exposure, because I'm sure there's so many bands that are insanely good that are willing to just give their music away to a video game for exposure. But then like you're buying a game almost for the soundtrack to know what it sounds like. I mean, I'm sure it's a cool game
yeah,
too, but
that's
that,
like what it yeah, and that's how it used to be, right? It used to be you had to the game came with a soundtrack, and that's what this game is like. Like it's exclusive uh s- tracks on the game. There was a brief point in time, I remember it was like Xbox One was you could take your CDs, and I took all my CDs and like saved them to the Xbox and you created a music library on the console.
I remember that.
Then when you're playing the game, you could queue up your own playlist, like race car games. You could queue up your own.
Yep.
Like I had like local Tallahassee band Monroe Brown. I had their album on my Xbox. Like there was a time where in my friend circle, like my Xbox specifically was like legit. Like man, Richard's got all the good stuff on his Xbox. You know, like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's still in that golden age where you couldn't just pull up whatever you wanted at any time and
Oh,
hear it
totally.
before YouTube, before Spotify and all that stuff. So like to
Hmm.
come over to my house, you could play video games and jam your stuff right there on the console without, a separate CD player was pretty cool.
I thought it was a great concept. I'm so out of the game loop now. I barely play video games at all. I don't know if that's still, can you still do that with your system, or is that no longer a
You
thing?
know, at this point in my life, if I have a PS5 and if it does, I'm just too lazy to go in and do it.
Yeah.
Because now sometimes, like, I have the PlayStation that has a disc drive, but the base model PlayStation doesn't even have a drive. Like, there's no CD drive. So you'd have to, like, I don't know what you have to do. You'd have to link it to some account or put it on a flash drive or something. And it's like so much weirdness that I'm 40. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't have 3 hours to think about this and figure that out. I have so many other things to do. I'm lucky to get 25 minutes or an hour, on a video game, because I love video games. I do still 40 years old, and I love video games, but I don't know. It probably does. It does all sorts of stuff.
I kind of have this master plan that when I'm maybe 60-ish, I'm going to get back into video games.
It's a great
They're going to be insanely good.
You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be like,
I'm going to be so lost, but I might become like mega good in my 60s. I'm like, I've done enough. I've let my legacy is there with all my work. I've made enough money. You know what? This year I'm going to play a lot of video games and get back into this whole thing.
You know what? And then we'll link up and we'll be like two old guys playing a game, but it's like we're like building a farm, like virtual reality, like something like really mundane. Like it's, oh yeah, I gotta jump on the game with Ash. What are y'all doing? Oh, we're fishing the pond.
Yeah. Just go outside. I know I used to think that way, but now that I'm 60, I'm tired of that shit. I want to do it digitally. I don't want to have to. I'm talking like I'm going to be that old when I'm 60. Man, I'm planning to be like a springy, spry 60-year-old jumping around doing flips is my goal. But
you're going to be like Danny Carey touring with King Crimson on a reunion tour when you're 60.
Oh God. Oh man. How cool would it be? Oh yeah, I'm with you. Let's actually be touring big giant shows around the world when we're in our 70s. Shit, fuck it. I mean, I'm hoping to live, especially with technology and everything. I mean, we might be able to live till we're 200.
Yeah, totally.
Take care of yourself.
Augment our livers, and our
they'll be able to regenerate. There was like, dude, they just did it was a pig heart, full pig heart into a human, and it's taken. And they created an entire, it's not a pig heart. I'm sorry, I'm mixing. They took the starting point of a pig. Man, I'm butchering this. And they basically grew it petri dish style. They can now make organs. This was the first test, and they did the transplant. And so now it's working, and they're going to monitor. But so far, so good, which means that they'll be able to create organs, which we knew was coming anyway, as we need them. So we got that going for us.
That's like the island of Dr. Moreau kind of stuff happening there.
Yeah.
Big heart. That's super exciting. If I can,
you might be right.
If your heart burns out and you're like, well, I'm gonna grow another one. It's gonna be brand new. I'm going to put it in my chest, and it's going to replace mine, and it's going to last for another. If your heart continues to beat, okay, for another, because a human heart will beat for 70 to 89 years, if it beats for 140, your skin is going to need some help. But that's all of it. That's what figured out.
There's other stuff. Yeah, you got your red light therapies. You got your resveratrol. You've got CRISPR technology. There's a lot of things moving in the directions. They're reversing cell growth. I mean, we're right when we're like in our 60s. There's going to be some pretty good stuff figured out. I think the question is the price point for some of this stuff. But by then, we'll be millionaires from our music anyway. So
because everybody on the planet's going to send us $1. Cue the Muses is that you can see for free on YouTube.
That's right. You can. Oh, that would have been the good time to cue that up, but I don't have it ready.
Well, this is a short episode tonight.
This is a short episode. In fact, that would have been the perfect endpoint for such a short episode, guys. We are. I'm crazy under the gun. We kind of got a late start on this from some technical difficulties, and it was already supposed to be a short episode because of me. But we will be back.
It was my fault with technical difficulties, and we
It's
will be
that-
back. I will be in town next week. I don't know if
Yes.
you're free to do it in person, or if not, I'll do it
Maybe.
from a mobile studio. We'll set that up. We'll have
What
a full
day?
hour next week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll be in town.
Okay. In theory, by Thursday, I hope that this project's out publicly. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to move it that fast. So that'd be done. I'm trying to get this thing done, send it, show it, and then get it out publicly because there's some big stuff happening immediately upon its release. So
Very cool. Very cool.
yeah.
Well, you get to work. We're going to go see King Crimson in September. There's amazing shows coming out. And guys, if you're still with us at 26 minutes, support local music. Head over to cuethemuses.com. Click the link to our YouTube show. Subscribe and like and all that good stuff. I'm King Dickerson. This is Ash Von Crimson. And together we are...
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the podcast, that's awesome. We really appreciate it. But you should check out our full actual web series if you have not seen it yet, because this is where we put all the effort into a production. It's a sci-fi comedy, but we're a rock band, and so we put music videos inside of each episode.
No views but your own easy escape. Don't pay no mind to what they say. They're in their own world anyway.
Each episode features a new singer on each song that we unveil within the episode.
And will they
all unique singers from the Southeast region, most of them from right here in the Florida Panhandle, and all independent, unsigned, unknown artists until now.
No matter how hard I try, turn it down.
Premise of the show, Ash and I are a couple of bonehead guitar players living off the grid, trying to save humanity, which has been brainwashed from an artificial intelligence stripping us away of our creativity and our creative spirit.
We developed a mind travel machine to go into people's brains and collaborate with their inner muses, bringing back music that is completely organic from human muse collaborations. Enter Cue the Muses. You know what? We're kind of getting sidetracked, man. There's only so much time for frequency absorption. We need to hop on it. Can you fire up the cadence tubes?
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and get my shoes tied.
Okay. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the little bell. Tell YouTube that we matter, that you like us, and that you want to see more of us, because that's the only way that happens. Stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. It's
Catch you
been
on the
fun.
next one.